So the data input check tab allows you to get an indication of what data you've input and what data you still need to input. I will emphasize now that, as I have just said, it is indicative only. You should not completely rely on it. If it shows green, don't assume that all data has been input. It is your responsibility to ensure that you are inputting complete data, because these boxes will turn green if you just have a day's record within that month. There are limitations as to what this tool can sort of pick up without needing loads of storage space. So for example, if you just input a record from the 1st of Jan to the 10th of Jan for transport, then it would say you've done it for the whole of January, even though you're clearly missing 2/3 of the month. But it's just a good indication to get a good idea, and whenever you do a CSV export, it will run this, and if there are some red boxes, it will throw up an error message saying, are you sure you've input all the data? Because it's just so important to make sure that the data you're inputting is complete, otherwise it will not be an accurate representation of the footprint. So to use it, you need to first select whether you want to do a project or a time period. Let's start with the project, motorway, and let's just do this project ran from Jan 24 to June 25. So let's just see what data's been input. So we can see there's a lot of red, and in fact there's a lot of actual person days missing, which is a massive issue, because that means, because there are no actual project person days input into the tool, any overhead emissions from Feb 24 to June 25 will have 0 tons of CO2e allocated to this project, which is not true if the project has been running. So we can also see that there's a lot of green, so a lot of bill of quantities and project transport data has been input, so that's all good. I guess I will just demonstrate what happens if we add some more project person days. So let's go to the person days input, and let's do actual person days so we can see it. And for project specific, CH001, and I think it was from Feb onwards. So let's just add a few records. So they've been added now, and then if we go back to the data input check and click go, we can now see that that's been reflected, and it said, yes, you've input the actual project person days between Jan and June. So similarly, if you want to do this for a time period, let's just say for the 2024 calendar year. So obviously not applicable for project person days because we're talking about a time period and not a specific project, but we can see that we haven't added any forecast person days for the total, the organisation as a whole. So that is an issue, and so you need to go add them. So yeah, hopefully that will be helpful in sort of seeing what is still left to do.